On to today's lesson, we'll be looking at basic chemistry. Yes, I'm also not a fan. And I too think that you're not a fan because you got into this stream of agriculture. Some of you were trying to actually avoid physical sciences, but here we are. You find yourself anyway have to deal with physical sciences even though you were running away from it. Well, I'm not a fan in as much as you are not a fan, but because in grade 11, this is term one work, so you have to know this. So yes, we are going to have a lesson on basic chemistry, introduction to basic chemistry. Disclaimer, I'd like to apologize to my non-Siswati speaking audience. I am going to use English as well as Siswati to explain some of the concept during the course of this lesson. So I apologize in advance if you do not speak or understand Siswati, as I am going to use it frequently to explain some of the concept under this or on this video. So I am going to explain chemical bonding. Chemical bonding. There are so many terms that you need to know or you need to be familiar with under basic chemistry in agriculture term 1 grade 11. So now we will be looking at chemical bonding. We have two different types of chemical bonding. We have the ionic chemical bonding, we have the covalent chemical bonding. The ionic chemical bonding is whereby whereby electrons they transfer from one to the other, and then we have covalent. Covalent is whereby they share, the sharing of electrons, right? So ionic bonding, I'll explain it as when you go to KFC, they ask you for a donation. Let's say you go there, you want to buy a meal and you only have 33 rand, right? And then they ask you for a donation of 2 rand. You had you had 35 rand, right? And then you bought a meal for 33 rand. They ask you a donation of 2 rand. You give away your 35 rand, right? That's where you transfer or you donate. So that is ionic bonding. And then there's covalent bonding. Covalent bonding, I mostly make an example of Mosam Selico. Yes, Mosam Selico from Mutano's table. So Mosam Selico being the carbon, and then the 4 hydrogen ions being his 4 wives, being Mangwabe, Makumalo, Macele, and Mayin, right? So you have the carbon in the middle and then surrounded by 4 carbons, right? They share. So this carbon is shared by 4 hydrogens. Yeah? All right. Under basic chemistry in grade 11, you'll also be expected to know the alkynes or the alkalines. It's up to you how you, there's no master pronunciation. It's up to you in terms of how or like how you want to pronounce it, right? I pronounce it as alkynes or alkynes, right? So in grade 11 agriculture, we only look at the five alkynes or the 5 alkynes, right? Which is methane. I'll show a picture here. Ethane, propane, butane, and pentane, right? Okay. So these alkynes, they have chemical structure or chemical formula and structural formula. When we speak of chemical formula, it involves alphabets and numbers. The structural formula, it involves symbols, right? So, for an example, they may ask you for 2 marks to give the chemical formula for methane. You are expected to say CH4 4. That is the chemical formula for methane. The structural formula for methane will be C, chemical bond H, chemical bond H, chemical bond H, chemical bond H. So you'll be expected to do that. They mostly would question you, or you would have a 2-mark question to say give the chemical formula, or give or draw a structural formula of methane or pentane. I hope that you have found this video informative. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Hope to see you soon. Ciao.